The man's piercing gaze seemed to see right through me as he repeated his question. What's your name? Hannah, I replied, my voice steady but my mind racing. I didn't dare offer anything more. How could I explain my situation to him? The accident, the strange dreamlike state, the terrifying array, none of it made sense to me, let alone to anyone else. He nodded slowly, his expression unreadable. So, you're Hannah. And you're new here. His words carried a strange weight, each syllable deliberate. Then his eyes narrowed slightly, and he added, that means you don't remember anything about your past. Right? My heart skipped a beat. His words struck a chord I hadn't expected. Was he implying there were others like me here? People who also didn't know how they'd ended up in this place? I hesitated, my mind scrambling for a response. Yes, I said quickly, nodding. Yes, I don't remember anything about my past. I'm new here. The lie rolled off my tongue with surprising ease, but it left a bitter taste in my mouth. I couldn't look him in the eye, afraid he might see through me. The man didn't seem surprised. Instead, he studied me for a moment before speaking again, his tone calm but firm. That's how it always is. Every new person who arrives here doesn't remember their past or even their present. It's like a blank slate. But, he said, his eyes softening slightly, they all realize one thing, they have a future to shape here. And they try. His words hung in the air, heavy with meaning. I wanted to ask so many questions. What was this place? How had I gotten here? What did he mean by shaping a future? But the fear of revealing too much kept me silent. Instead, I nodded again, trying to appear as if I understood. I see. I murmured, though I didn't. Not really. The boy, who had been shifting nervously beside his father, suddenly piped up. You're lucky my dad's the one who found you. He's the best at helping new people like you. He grinned, though his earlier guilt still lingered in his expression. His father shot him a look, and the boy immediately clammed up. Hannah, the man said, his voice drawing my attention back to him. You may not remember your past, but that doesn't matter here. What matters is what you do from now on. Understand? Yes, I said again, though the weight of his words felt overwhelming. The man's gaze lingered on me for a moment longer before he finally stepped back. We'll take you to a safer place. You've had enough of the forest for one day. I followed them silently, my thoughts swirling with questions and doubts. Whatever this place was, it was clear that my journey here was only just beginning. We started walking, the forest quiet except for the soft crunch of leaves beneath our feet. The boy darted ahead, his energy boundless, despite the strange tension that hung in the air. His father moved with a steady, deliberate pace, and I stayed close behind, trying to make sense of his earlier words. What did he mean that everyone who came here didn't remember their past? Was that supposed to include me? Did he think I had simply forgotten who I was? The questions burned in my mind, but I couldn't summon the courage to ask them. The boy glanced over his shoulder and grinned at me. Hey, big sis, you're really quiet. Are you scared of my dad or something? No, I said quickly, forcing a small smile. I'm just thinking. He snorted, clearly unconvinced. You don't need to be scared. My dad's a good guy, even if he looks super serious all the time. Right, Dad? His father didn't respond immediately. When he finally spoke, his tone was measured, almost cryptic. Fear isn't always a bad thing. It keeps us cautious. A person who has no fear is either a fool or something far more dangerous. The boy rolled his eyes. Yeah, life lesson number 53. I get it. I couldn't help but smile at their interaction, though the man's words stayed with me. Fear wasn't always a bad thing. Was that supposed to comfort me? Because if anything, I felt more unsettled than ever. As we walked, the forest began to thin, and the landscape opened up to reveal rolling hills covered in shimmering grass that seemed to dance in the light. The sight took my breath away. What is this place? I murmured, unable to keep the awe out of my voice. The boy turned to me, his grin widening. This? This is just the outskirts. Wait till you see the real heart of the realm. It's way cooler. Realm? The word slipped out before I could stop myself. The boy tilted his head, his expression puzzled. Yeah, the realm. You know, the place we're in? What else would you call it? I opened my mouth to respond, but his father cut in. She's new, remember? She doesn't know the terms yet. The boy's face lit up with understanding. Oh, right. Don't worry, big sis. You'll learn all about it soon enough. We crested a hill, and in the distance, I saw what looked like a sprawling forest, its dense trees towering over everything else. Nestled within the deep green, I could just make out the outline of a large house, a structure made of wood and stone, blending seamlessly into the natural surroundings. The house seemed to emerge from the very forest itself, as though it had grown there over centuries. There was no village in sight, no bustling market or clustered cottages. Just the quiet, expansive wilderness stretching endlessly in all directions. That's where we're headed, the man said, his voice softening. It's not far now. You'll be safe there. You can rest and recover. And maybe, start to understand this place. I squinted, trying to take it all in. The house looked so far removed from everything I had known. There was a certain calm to it, a stillness that felt like it had been untouched for ages. It felt different from the villages I'd imagined. It was isolated, deep in the forest. I nodded, though a wave of unease still curled in my chest. The forest felt vast, mysterious, and unfamiliar. But if this was to be my new home, I would have to adapt. Whatever this strange world was, it seemed like it was the only place left for me to survive. As we continued our trek down the hill, I glanced back once more, seeing the land stretching behind me. I had no idea what awaited, but the path ahead felt like my only choice,